important because if you're feeling overwhelmed, you have to be able to say, you got to be able to tell your spouse what those things are that he can help take off your plate.
Yes.
You can't just say, I feel overwhelmed.
I'm doing it.
I'm doing it by myself. Okay. And then he's like, oh, okay, well, so what can I do? What can I take off your plate? No, I got it.
Yep. That
like,
used to be me.
I was like, this example. She was like, no, I got it. So how can I help then if you got it all by yourself? Mm-hmm. So.
Because if you got it, then why are you bringing it up? That's literally how he was like, so if you have it, then you don't need me to do anything.
Yep.
But it could have been, and to be fair, even in that, there were some things I was feeling, I've gotten better about saying what is overwhelming me. Yeah. And sometimes there are things he cannot take off my plate.
Correct. Yep.
But in that moment, I would say, I'm feeling overwhelmed. This got me, and I'll give more specifics. And I go, I just need you to listen so I can vent. Mm-hmm. Or I just need to feel appreciated for what I do bring.
This is the B-side, 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 the marriage. This is the B-side, 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 the marriage.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Bside of Marriage podcast. I'm your host, Rashonda, and this is my husband and co-host,
Jason.
And here at the Bside, we talk about everything related to marriage. The good, the bad, the real, the A, and the B-side. So if you're watching this on YouTube, please be sure to ring that bell, comment, subscribe, all the things. Maybe ring the bell is subscribe, but you know what I mean. And if you're listening on any of the audio platforms, please be sure to rate, review, share, subscribe as well.
As well, follow us on Facebook at The Bside of Marriage and on Instagram at Bside of Marriage.
Yes, so let's jump into our first segment where we share our A and B side moment from our week.
So I have an A side and an A and a B that goes together, and then I got a B on this by itself now. So
okay,
so the A and the B kind of go together. So yeah, kids back in school. So
yes, they are.
A side is they're not asking me for iPads and hovering over me at 11 o'clock in the morning. That's the A side.
Okay.
B side, now I'm pretty much home alone. I ain't got nobody to talk to. So it was cool. The kids there be like, guys, no, please, I'm on a meeting or something. Somebody actually talk to. I ain't got nobody to talk to anymore. I'm by myself. So then my B side is this city is ridiculous.
Okay.
Last week, you kind of said it, but this adds on to it. Now they done put up signs that there's no parking, standing, or something else.
Stopping
on a whole stretch of block. Not just not
the main street.
Yeah, a whole stretch, a whole block that goes and it curves and curves. So now
it's like 2 miles.
Yeah, it's like 2 miles
worth of street.
And so now, like I said, I told my wife, I was like, if I'm gonna continue to do it, if a cop says something, I'm like, listen, my son has extreme eczema, he can't be in the sun. I'm literally saying like that. This doesn't help me. I can't be sitting in line for 2 hours picking up kids. I have to go to work. And that's what literally I'm gonna say. Give me a ticket, that's fine. But I can't do this.
Can I tag team on it?
You can tag team, go ahead.
Okay, so also too, this is not my B side, but this is the B side. Why parents waiting in line to pick up their kids at 11 o'clock in the morning?
Oh, see, and that's part
Why is that even a thing?
That's part of the issue. Like, why? And I wouldn't have a problem picking up in the line if I didn't have to sit there for 2 hours to pick them up.
That's just to get inside the little drive,
just to
the
get
lane.
Into drive. Like, who has that? If, like I said, I work from home. Who has that time? And on top of that, when you get in the line, there's no
internet.
Not internet, but your AT&T, even Verizon.
Oh yeah, network.
The network is horrible, so you can't even do anything. So it's like, that's the thing that frustrates me. Is like, and now you're putting up signs for individuals who, like I said, my kids can't ride the bike because it's way too hot because my son and his eczema. So my only other option is get as close as I can to the school so I can drop them and I'll walk them across and then I'll get in the car. Can't do that no more. Last year I was able to do it. Can't do it now. So now I literally have to, and I say
separating families.
I say it like this as
Creighton laws to separate families.
Yeah, I say it like this as a joke. Like, I have to stop and just keep the car going so the kids could jump out.
Yes.
Even though I don't do that, but that's how I feel.
They got to tuck and roll.
Yeah, there you go. They got to tuck and roll. So it's like that's something that's really chopping my hide because I'm like, that's why I was like, I'm literally gonna continue to do what I'm doing, and if they have something to say, that's literally what I'm just gonna say. Like,
yeah, that's very frustrating.
So
because we don't live far, but we live far. We live too far for them to bike and walk in this heat.
Yeah.
So, so that's what I was like, Lord, please hear our cries. Please send a cold front. Please, Jesus, because if once the humidity and everything go and temperatures go back to regular height, we can do regular height.
We can do regular height, but that...
we can't do this.
The 105, 109, no. No.
Yeah, consistently.
Consistently, yes.
Consistently. So,
I ain't trying to do that,
yeah.
so.
Yeah.
What about you?
Okay, so my A, actually I forgot about it.
Because
you really got me, because that is But anyways, yes. A side was that we had a date night.
Okay.
And the food was amazing.
Oh, yes. Great fusion of African,
of South African and Argentinian.
Oh man, it was
great, delicious.
So good.
So one thing that Houston has, it started off as Houston's Restaurant Week, but then they made it weeks, so it's like the whole month of August, basically until Labor Day. And what it is that it highlights different restaurants, and they have like dedicated menus, so where you can try different menus for a basically fraction of the price.
Yeah.
So like there's, I think, I don't even know. We've never gone for breakfast. I don't even know what that price is, but I think like for lunch it's like either $35 or $45, and then for dinner it's $55 or $65.
It's $55 depending, and then if you want.
Well, it depends on the restaurant because they have And so what they do is they'll give you like a 3-course meal for that $55 or $55, $65, and you get to try different things. Like you get to pick from their selection because it's a curated menu, and you get to pick from their options for first, second, and third courses anyways. If you're in the Houston area or surrounding areas, I would definitely check out the website because it allows you to have, 1, dates on a budget, 2, it allows you to go and try different restaurants and different cuisines without, like, you basically know how much you're going to be spending. So it allows you to be able to go and taste a wide variety of things. So that was a great time. The restaurant is Astor to
Farm.
Astor
Farm to Table.
Okay, that. It's amazing. It's in that Katy area. So if you live in Houston, like I said, check it out. It's definitely a must.
I'm just making sure. Yeah, it's Astor Farm to Table.
Okay, Astor Farm to Table. Yes. My B-side is struggling with. It's kid related as well, but it's really struggling with allowing our kids to be able to develop their own personality and style while also having them to be appreciative of what we're doing and providing for them. And it really, like, we are in this weird stage where the kids like want to wear certain things when they want to wear them, how they want to wear them. It doesn't always look cohesive. And labels, just to have a label does not mean you styling. Like you can have a label and wear it wrong. And I'm all for a high-low mix. Like That's like, but you have to do it where it look like you put some thought into the look. My youngest, he doesn't care. And I was
red,
like,
he's fine.
yes, as long as his favorite color is red, so he wants to wear red head to toe. He doesn't care. And I don't mind that. That's fine. I'm learning to let go, because that's the whole thing. I feel like it's a control thing.
Okay.
So I have to let go, let them embrace this, but at the same time, do not complain about looks. Like, do not complain if someone else does not appreciate your look. Because you didn't ask me for assistance. Yeah. Also, too, don't put too much in what other people say about what you look like. So that's what I'm saying. We're like in this very strange time, because also too, we've never, I shouldn't say we've never been here before, but we don't know how to do this. Like we don't have that example, because growing up, we had to wear what we had to wear.
We had to figure out, make it work.
And make it work. Forget like having a week's worth of like new clothes. If you got like some shirts and jeans, you have to make that work.
I just always get
shoes,
a whole bunch of shirts.
Forget J's and Nike, whatever.
Pay
you
less,
get going to pay less.
Homie.
Pay less and say less. Okay.
Unless my brother gave me his shoes, and I've been wearing
I didn't have hand-me-downs.
A whole size shoes bigger than mine, but I still wore them because
I would have taken hand-me-downs if they were named brand. Yeah. So trying to like allow them to create their own identity, be confident in what they decide, and then also understand that we're doing things for them that were not done for us, because we want them to, start the year off looking fresh. We want them to go to school having a confidence.
Yeah.
But man, they can be unappreciative. They just assume that, okay, yes, you're gonna go get my hair braided. Yeah, you're getting our hair braided for the first day of school. Who? What? Do you know how much? For our daughter, we pay the same price for me to get my hair braided for my daughter. That's a lot of money. And then our son, he want braids, he want J's, he won't. Literally, he won't. Y'all pray for us. Because then they want to wear it wrong.
Oh.
And if you're going to try to be a sneakerhead, do it right. And then also, too, don't be wearing it random places. He does not have a shoe collection, because also, too, he looks like he's a teenager. I don't like it. He's getting too tall. His shoes are getting too, like he grows out his shoes too fast. I'm shopping in the men's section. I don't like any of it. I don't like it. I don't. So that is my B-side. I don't like any of it.
Oh, man.
Sorry, I just need a minute because I don't like it. Y'all don't understand. Like,
man.
The struggle is real.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to be laughing at this. Yeah, that was good rant.
Because
that was good rant.
It's too much. It is too much. She's so expensive. Y'all, like, literally, like, I'm having to shop at the outlet. Because I'm not paying full price for nothing. Especially if I don't know how many wears he's going to get out of these shoes.
Yeah, because again, he's almost up to my shoe size.
And I still have to buy shoes for Micah because the size difference is so dramatic. Micah's not wearing them anytime soon.
He got a few years before unless he just gets
okay,
started.
And I definitely can't take that. No, we're not gonna put that out. I need to pace myself. I don't need my baby. Nope, not even thinking about it right now. Not gonna do it.
All right, I'll keep moving.
Let's move on. What is the next segment?
Next segment is
what is it?
Is the P2P share, where we share something we're reading, watching, or listening to. What you got? Oh man, what you got?
I feel like I need to change it because this is along the same vein. But oh man. So trying to do more gentle parenting, positive enforcement parenting. This is all new to us. Mm-hmm. We both were raised differently, So we're trying to allow our kids, the opportunity to provide feedback and to just be respectful in that and whatever, all the new ways of trying to raise a well-rounded individuals. To that point, I've been listening to a new podcast called Parenting for the Culture. And I like it because it does provide that gentle parenting, but also combating it like she brings in the old school type of thinking. So she's like, yes, I know you're used to thinking this way and doing this way, but instead this is how you can do it. And she kind of she breaks it down so that I can
make it palatable for you.
Yes. Because I'm like, this is a lot. And also too, she also provides affirmations for the parents to kind of talk us through those moments that we want to immediately respond with, what we grew up, how we grew up, those kind of techniques. And because I said so, yep. Whatever. And she kind of talks about that. But another funny thing about kids, because we often say, because our kids, of course, they when they want to eat out, they feel like they should eat out, and money is never an issue in their eyes. But so how we always say, do you have McDonald's money? Well, our son actually got a gift card to McDonald's for his birthday, so he's like, I got McDonald's money.
Oh, that is true.
So that was funny, but yeah,
So, the show that I'm watching is it's really good. It's called Lioness. It's on Paramount Plus. It's really, it's just, and I don't want to kind of give it the whole thing, anything, but I won't give everything. But it's basically about how they're, we have government, secret teams and stuff like that do certain things. And it's just, they're showing you, they're kind of going through the process of you bringing somebody else in and getting them prepared for, for a mission, and they have a short amount of time to do it. And it's just I don't know. It made me think about a lot of different things in our lives of, kind of what we go through and how certain things prepare us for the next step. And as we, and basically as we continue to, move into a particular goal, there's always going to be something that's going to try to get in your way, but then you still have to be able to work through it. For instance, in the show, the actual new operative is put into this with another the person they're trying to get close to, and she's just trying to fit in and make sure they think that she's okay. And then so she started talking to a guy at a bar, and he gave her some stuff and tried to stuff to make her sleep in, and he literally picked up and took her into the forest.
Okay.
No, but it was the reason I'm saying is she got put into, she went into the military, she did all that stuff in the Marines, but she got put in, some people feel like she got put in too early, so she's not ready for all of this, to actually acknowledge when somebody's trying to get over her and stuff like that, but how she's, through adversity, she's getting past all this stuff. She's hitting hurdles, but she's able to traverse those hurdles, even though, I'm not saying most of us, when something like that is whoa, hold on, but she's able to do it. So, and like I said, I like the show. I really like the show. It's
sounds interesting.
Yeah, it's packed with a lot of stuff. If you watch it, it's packed with a lot of stuff. You're oh wow, and not so much oh wow. For me, as I watch it, there's more things in my head that I'm thinking about. It's oh wow. So I'm kind of what's the word? When you kind of not a mirror, but
compare.
Not really compare, but
I don't know.
Okay, I can't think of the word, but yeah, but it's a good show. It's called Lioness on Paramount Plus. So
right.
So what are we talking about right now?
We talking about support. What is it?
Oh, say what?
How do you ask for it? What is it? How does it all work?
Are you okay? Do we still need to take a break?
No. I'm good. I'm good. No. But okay, so the situation is, oftentimes couples, I wouldn't say even couples, but partners or the spouses within a relationship would say, "Oh, I don't feel like my partner, my significant other, supports me."
Okay.
And I think. I'm not sure that it's a matter of support, of being unsupported versus being under-supported.
Okay.
Okay?
No, I got where you're going.
Okay. So when we think about not having support, being unsupported, that means that whatever we're going through, we don't feel as though someone has our back. Okay. We feel like we're having to do it alone.
Gotcha.
We're feeling overwhelmed because we're doing everything ourselves. So I guess, can you think of an example where you felt, this is very dangerous, but where you felt unsupported?
Yeah, and I'm gonna go back to a conversation we already had, actually at the start of this season.
Oh yes, please. Okay, that's good.
No, like about back when we actually when we was part of the marriage ministry, when we had the access to do that homework, and we had a conversation when I, opened up and let you know what I was dealing with.
Okay.
Regarding to porn and stuff like that. And it was in that time that's where I didn't, like I said, that's the instant where I could say right off the bat where you said, at that time, I'm not saying now, I'm saying at that time, I didn't feel supported. And it's like, and it was in that moment because we were supposed to, like I said, get naked and take a shower and be able to, like, tell the spouse something that you've been holding on to. Not really saying holding on to, that you'll be able to say, in that space like
something
that.
You hadn't shared with your partner before.
So for me, like I wasn't doing it because I was doing it because I wanted you to understand what I was dealing with, and I didn't feel at that time it was like I'm opening up, and then it was just like walls went down because it was like, oh, so I got to deal with this on my own. I got to figure it out on my own. So that's an instant. So
okay. So how would you have liked to have been supported through that process?
Honestly, for you to really dig in a little bit more to get an understanding of, why, like, not say why it affected me, to really, walk with me in this, because at that time, that was something I was battling because I was trying to get away from it, but I didn't have that support where I felt that I can get through it. You see what I'm saying? So that's where it's like, now, like I said, now it's different. Now, you're super supportive about it. And like, we've had conversations about it, and, but that was something I wish we'd have had early on because, again, I felt, there was something I knew I wanted to change, I wanted to work on, but I didn't feel how I can do it on my own. I didn't understand. I'm saying I didn't know how I can do it on my own, and I wanted you to be there to support me through it. So.
And how would I have known how to support you? How would I have known, let me ask it a different way. How would I have known exactly how I could best support you in that time?
I think in the conversation that we had, I would, if we'd have had the conversation where, like, instead of, the wall shutting down and you not wanting to talk about it, if we was able to talk about it, I think out of that conversation, kind of how it is now, you would have got a better understanding of how you can support me. And again, like, even like we have, like, it wasn't about just the physical. It was more about getting understanding of, how to understand what are my triggers, why certain things do it, for me to really. And again, it wasn't for you to try to unpack all this stuff, just to help me, during that process.
Yeah, maybe just be there with you in that moment.
Yeah, but because like I said, when I told you that and you're about faced, it was
Right. I think because in that moment I wasn't showing up for you.
Mm-hmm.
It was really like, what do I need to do for me?
Correct.
What was best for me in that moment was to shut down, was to separate myself, create space.
Yeah.
So that I felt like, so that I would not exacerbate the situation.
Okay.
Because I definitely could have said some things that would have made the situation worse.
Yeah.
Or even did things by physically removing myself from, the relationship that would have made things worse. So I think so I asked that because I think that's the problem with, or that's the issue that people have when it comes to support and asking for support in your relationships. Too often I think that we assume that we are doing what the other person needs to feel supported.
Yeah.
I think we lack empathy.
Okay.
When support is asked of the other.
And I think part of it has to do is, in the frame of how it's asked. Like, because again, the conversation that we had, I was revealing something. I didn't really ask you anything. So that's why I was like, it's not saying the context, it's more of being able to ask that in a way that your spouse will get to understand. It's like, okay, he or she needs me to support him in whatever it is.
Right. And that's why I say I think that's the setting of expectations, right? So when we need support, I don't think we set the right parameters around what support really looks like for us, because it varies depending on the situation, right? I think in that moment, I don't think you needed me to support you. I think you needed me to empathize with you. Like, you needed me to just be in the moment of, as you're, being very vulnerable.
Okay.
And just allowing you the opportunity to be vulnerable.
Gotcha. Okay.
And just being, like I said, present in that moment, empathizing with or just even acknowledging the fact that this is something that you have been dealing with and you've been dealing with it by yourself, and that you just needed me to basically just reassure you that I could be like, you didn't have to do it by yourself.
Okay.
But also, too, it comes to like setting that kind of like setting the scene, like setting up the situation. Like, okay, I'm about to share something with you. Like before having the conversation, like I'm about to share something with you that has been weighing on my heart. I need you to just be. I need you to listen and just be. Just listen, like listen to understand. Do not listen to respond. Like, I'm not asking you to try to help, like, solve it. I'm not asking anything of you other than just to have a soft heart and a listening ear.
Okay. No, yes, I agree. That's how you should do it. I know at that time I probably didn't have the verbiage to say that or how to say it like that.
Yes.
But no, I agree, because that softens, I'll say softens the delivery. But it gives you a chance to be like, okay, this is serious. I need to focus. I need to pay attention to what they're saying, so that you can be able to hear them. Because the way I said it, it was literally just, I'll say, like, I sucker punch you. That's pretty much how it was.
Yes. That's how I felt.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So I didn't even give you a chance to really prepare yourself for what I had to say.
Right.
And again, I remember I assumed that
Yes.
because of what was asked of us for homework. Again, for me, I was prepared for something that you had to tell me that you had never shared. Like I was prepared for it. Mm-hmm. So I assumed that you was prepared for whatever I had to say, and it was like you wasn't. So, but yeah, I get no, you're right. You was right about that.
Sorry, I was just thinking. I was like, I just realized.
You didn't share anything.
Right, but no, I realized that I don't think we were set up to be successful in that moment, because I think what I would have shared would have been something that I just shared like a few years ago.
Yes, I know.
And I wonder how that would have changed the dynamic of our relationship. Anyway, sorry, I just put on the therapist hat. So I just had like a aha moment. I was just like, oh, because we never did get to it, because bringing it back to the to the topic was because it also would have allowed me to monitor my response, for me to have more control over, or to manage my response.
Okay.
If you would have been able to say something prior to, disclosing, I would have been like, now is not the time to turn away. Like, now is not, just be in the moment, and even say, like I should have said anything.
Yeah, because it was...
Because I was so shocked, I couldn't say anything, and I left.
Yeah.
So it would have hopefully given me an opportunity to not feel rushed to say something. Because that's what I felt. I felt like, oh, wow, wasn't expecting that. Mm-hmm. I need to get me together. Because I also knew, we had other things that we were doing.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, okay, so what can I do basically to save face for me?
Gotcha.
I very much became very selfish in that moment, instead of taking the time to maybe just stand there in silence and then say what I was really like thinking.
Gotcha.
Like, I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
I need time to process.
Okay.
But also, what do you need?
Gotcha.
And so it goes back to support, because I feel like we say that we're not supported because I don't think we give enough. We don't provide enough clarification around that expectation of what that support needs to look like.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
When you make assumptions, it just does not fare well.
Yeah.
Because we have two different definitions of whatever it is.
Even support, like what that support means,
Exactly.
It's a different, what, I guess I look at it as support, depending on whatever it is, there's a different level of support that you're going to ask from somebody.
Yes.
So, I can expect, if I'm asking you something that I want you to have and I'll say a level 3, but then I can say it to you and you think, okay, he just needs level 1. So we have to be able to get an understanding. So, okay, I need you to be at a level 3 support. Whatever that level 3 is, I'm just putting it as a level.
Right.
Like, whatever that level 3 support, you need to be able to verbalize, okay, I need this support in this type of way. So, your wife, your husband could get an understanding of how they need to show up for you.
Right. And that's why I said I don't necessarily think that people are...
purposely.
Well, they're not being supportive in the relationship.
Yeah.
I think they're under-supporting because they're not providing... They're providing some, but it's just inadequate. Okay. Based off of the lack of clarification of expectations for whatever that support needs to be. Okay. So, for example, if in our situation now, the expectation is that you're taking on a lot of the day-to-day kind of household type things. Mm-hmm. And so the fact that you're doing them, you might feel like, hey, I'm supporting Rashonda because I'm taking care of all the things. We talked about it, and I'm doing it.
Yeah.
So you probably think that I'm a very supportive husband. Whereas I could think that, well, as part of taking care of let me see, as a part of taking care of the house also means that, like, you have all the meals planned.
Okay, that's what you're saying. Yeah.
And it could be that you don't plan the meals because you want to see what I have a taste for. I'm trying to come up with an example.
Yeah.
So you might not have a meal plan for that day because you were like, oh, this is usually our order out, or we eat out.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna wait until Shauna gets home before we figure out what we're gonna eat.
Yeah.
But I come home, I'm like, oh, dinner's not. We not
no dinner cooking.
Exactly. Well, not that, but like, cause for me, you already know I can. It's hit or miss, on this whole weight loss thing. So I can deal. I can't deal though with the kids. I'm so hungry. I need to eat. What are we gonna eat? Can I have a snack? Like, I can't deal with that because then I'm like, oh, your dad didn't. Why haven't y'all eaten? Y'all should have eaten. And so then I can, in that moment, not feel supported. Because I'm like, you said you were going to take care of it. But and so it's not that you didn't take care of it.
Yeah.
It just, to me, seemed like it was not enough. And you thought you were knocking it out of the park.
I was on.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I know that's a very high, like soft example or whatever.
Gotcha.
But that's what I'm saying. Like unless I am clear, and also to that point, like, in being clear does not mean to be demanding. It doesn't mean to be demoralizing. Like, that's not how to be like, oh, well, you were supposed to cook, why you didn't cook, or why my kids hungry. Like, you had one job, because I got that from a show. You had one job and you couldn't do that job. Like, no, that's not gonna help. Cause then now he's getting defensive, and now y'all got a bigger issue.
Yeah.
But it's just being clear in however you need to be supported in that moment for whatever that thing may be.
No, I don't have anything to go with that, honestly, because you kind of said it all. Because it's like, as it comes down to, like, what we always talk about, communication. It comes down to communication. If you're not communicating, specifically of those particular things, it's always going to be some type of assumption. But that's why you have to be clear about what it is that you. And again, like you said, it doesn't have to be in a authoritative way, because even just like, when I used to work outside the house, I never came in expecting you to have dinner ready, cooked, and all that stuff. And I never was like, okay, why food's not done? That was never something that, let's say we had issues with, but it's still, it's still something that you need to have a conversation if that's important to you.
Yeah.
Whatever that importance is, those are the things that you need to have conversation about. And it's not just one person. Y'all both have to talk about what's important.
Yes.
And again, like you said, how you want to feel supported in those particular areas. Right.
And letting go of some stuff just letting go of some things that I think we put on ourselves that it's not like, when you look at the bigger picture, is it really that big of a deal? So, like, keeping with the food thing, also too, because I'm hungry. So this just makes sense. But it's like, okay, if the expectation is for there to be food, like for the Jay to handle dinners during the week. My expectation is that he's taking care of dinner. Like, so if I can't set an expectation saying, oh, I need you to cook home cooked meals Monday through Friday. I can't put that expectation on him as long as he's taking care of the basic need. The need is the kids need to eat, we need to eat. If there's food in the house and he's doing that, then he's done his job. I can't then be like, oh, but you didn't like the kids had pizza one night. Who cares? Did they eat? Yes. There's like some things that are not worth making a bigger deal out of it.
Okay.
Just like paying bills. If one person's supposed to be paying the bills, as long as they get the job done, allow them to do the job in the way that they're done. You can't ask for support. So basically what I'm saying, you cannot ask for support in an area and then tell a person exactly how to do it and then say you're not being supported because they're not doing it the way that you want them to do it. That is just, that's not how it works. So you can't ask for support and get upset if someone doesn't do it the exact way that you want them to do it. We have to allow for the support to be given. Like, all we can do is make the request.
But you can't.
And then allow our spouse to support us the best way that they know how.
Yeah. And correct. But again, it goes back to you still have to voice that level of support that you need.
Yes.
Because just like kind of what you just said is like, okay, for instance, I need you to take the trash out. Okay. Take the trash out. Okay, but and then you come home, why the trash can's still outside? You ask me to take the trash out. So that's not being specific, like being specific of what the request is. Like if you have a request like, okay, if the garbage person comes out, could you please make sure that's in before a certain amount of time? Because it's being specific. That's what I'm saying. So
I get it.
Because like I said, you're not technically telling them how to do it. You're just making a request saying, I would like it to, like, if you take the trash out, I would like it to be back in. Like, even for us, like, they put the trash right in front of the driveway. So it's like, if that was something that you say, request is like, can you take the trash out? But then it's like, you don't tell me. Again, for me, that's just something
so I guess that goes to, like, I think that you provide a concrete enough intent for the support and then allow the flexibility of when they actually do it. So, like, for me, like, okay, so in that example, like, if I'm asking you to take the trash out, whatever, more than likely the kids are going to be the ones responsible. So my need is for the trash to get out so it get picked up. But then for the bins to just not be blocking the driveway.
Correct.
So how the timing around that, I don't necessarily, I should not care. As long as, like I said, the trash goes out, it's getting picked up, and then I'm still able to pull into the driveway. Okay. I think it's also, too, giving some grace when giving the support or when expecting the support, because there could be very busy seasons, and like I said, I feel like the intent is always good, or at least the majority of the time the intent is good. So giving grace in those moments when the ball is dropped, No. I think we give a lot of grace, especially if we're working outside of the home or in our jobs, our corporate jobs or whatever. Like when other people are miss a deadline, they're like, oh, I'm sorry. We're like, oh, okay. But then when our spouse doesn't do something, how dare you? You don't love me. I'm in this by myself. And to that point, even about feeling like you're in it by yourself or feeling overwhelmed. Me and my husband, I love him to death, but we don't think alike.
There's a reason.
And what he thinks he's handling versus what I know I'm handling is going to be different. So what he takes care of versus what I know I take care of, they're different. And so he might not realize that I'm having feelings of being overwhelmed because he doesn't see everything that I do. Good point. And I think he's now realizing some of the little things that I would just take care of, because some of them, like, I didn't need to, like, like we didn't need to bounce everything off of each other. So I was like, oh yeah, I would do that and I would do this. And so now he's seeing that because he's home, he's home more, so he's seeing like the little things. But I said all that to say, if you're feeling overwhelmed, voice it in a respectful way to your spouse. But like, so I'm feeling overwhelmed because I feel as though I have to do everything, and is getting a bit much for me to juggle. Yeah. Then quite naturally they're like, oh, what are you doing? What are you doing that you're feeling overwhelmed? Is there anything that I can do to take it off your plate?
And that's important, because if you're feeling overwhelmed, you have to be able to say, you got to be able to tell your spouse what those things are that he can help take off your plate.
Yes.
You can't just say, I feel overwhelmed.
I'm doing everything.
I'm doing it by myself. Okay, and then he's like, oh, okay, well, so what can I do? What can I take off your plate? No, I got it.
Yep. That
used
to be me.
I was like, this is example. She'd be like, no, I got it. So how can I help then if you got it all by yourself? So.
Because if you got it, then why are you bringing it up? That's literally how he was like, so if you have it, then you don't need me to do anything.
Yep.
But it could have been, and to be fair, even in that, there were some things I was feeling, I've gotten better about saying what is overwhelming me. Yeah. And sometimes there are things he cannot take off my plate.
Correct. Yep.
But in that moment, I would say, I'm feeling overwhelmed. This got me, and I'll give more specifics. And I go, I just need you to listen so I can vent. Or I just need to feel appreciated for what I do bring, or I don't know. What else have I said?
You said that appreciated for what I'm doing currently. Right?
Yeah. I'm saying I think those are really the main things. Yeah. And then I would acknowledge when I drop the ball. So that's what's it needs to be both. In essence, to get the support you need, you have to voice it. Yeah. You got to voice it. You got to be respectful in that, and you also got to be honest. Because you don't always have it together, even though you might think you do. Yeah. And when you drop the ball, you gotta be like, yep, I dropped the ball there. That is my bad. Maybe what I thought I could handle, I couldn't. And let it go. You gotta let some stuff go. I'm definitely learning that in this season. So that's all I got.
I ain't got nothing else.
I don't know if it really helped.
Why?
I don't know. But anyways, ask for the support you need. Be respectful.
I think it hit right what it needs to. So.
And because people be out here, you really have to be man. In order to be married, you have to talk. You got to be able to talk about the little stuff, like the trash can, like loading the dishwasher, putting up the dishes, all that stuff. You have to talk about that stuff, but you got to talk about the big stuff too. Yeah. And I think so I think it needs to be a balance. If you only focus on the lighter things or the smaller things, you will internalize the bigger thing. Focusing on just the small things causes you to internalize bigger things, and that way you won't actually bring them up because you're in fear of either one, not being heard, not being understood, or saying it in a way where it offends the other person.
Okay.
So it has to be a balance. You have to not only talk about the small stuff, you got to be able to talk about the big stuff, making sure when you're addressing these moments of, listen, when you feel unsupported or undersupported, do not just lob that out there. Make sure that you're talking about it at a time when both of you are have the right energy, same energy, having in the right space, mindset to have the conversation so that it can actually be a productive conversation. Because, you don't want to just, they head into the shower and you're like, and that's why I I'm tired of having to do everything by myself. Wait, what, girl? No. So yeah. So that's all I gotta say. Okay, I just feel like I'm gonna go on another tangent. I'm just gonna stop.
So, as always, like, follow, share, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when next episode's coming out or when we post another one. I think that's it. And until next week.
Because remember, the real work begins at I do.
Peace.